Yo, what's going on, guys? It's the Alchemist, and I'm bringing you guys another Call of Duty gameplay. And this time, I'm finally switching it up. I'm not playing Domination. This is kill confirmed on Resistance. I'm also mixing it up by not using my same class loadout that I usually use. Even though I have 6 classes, a lot of them are pretty similar. But here, I'm actually using Overkill. And I decided that I wanted to try to get Overkill Pro for I have no reason. But I decided to use a sniper rifle as my main weapon, which is funny because I don't know how to snipe. But I had picked it up, well, picked up the Barrett a couple times on the ground in random games. And I've gotten a few kills, so I was like, whatever, let me try a different weapon. Let me do something different with this. And if you watch the gameplay, I actually get a couple of decent kills with it, or decent in my opinion since I barely know how to use it. But it was actually pretty entertaining, and since this game I've tried the Barrett out a couple other times. Sometimes I do well, sometimes I get stuffed, but that's actually why I'm using Overkill in this case, because if you see, I switch from the sniper to the ACR depending on what situation I think I'll be in and try to make the best of it. But in this game, I'm playing with some friends of friends, actually, from real life, and we're sort of just BSing, having a good time. We played like 15 games, and we won all 15 games. And right before this, we had been playing TDM, and I went flawless on this same map, and I was just sort of getting bored, so I was like, I think now's the time to mix it up. And that actually brings up a topic that I wanted to mention. That topic is taboo weapons. And by that I mean, why does it seem that around the YouTube community or the Call of Duty community, there's weapons that nobody wants to see, there's perks that nobody wants to see, there are attachments or tactical grenades or anything like that that people just don't want to see anybody using. And what's the point, really? The way I think about it is, if you tell people enough times, I don't want to see a game that you use the SCAR, I don't want to see a game that you use the SCAR, that doesn't mean that they're not going to use the SCAR for real. But it just means that they're not going to put up games that they use the SCAR, even if they did well or not. So does that mean if you do really well with the weapon that's a little too popular, maybe a little too overused, does that mean that your game wasn't actually as good as it might seem? So if you go 50 kills in a TDM and you're using a SCAR, is that not as good as going 30 kills using a PM9 or something like that? I don't know. Personally, I don't really see the problem with it, because I know I like to use good guns if I feel like it. And there's sometimes I'll be like, okay, let's mix it up. Let me use a sniper when I barely know how to snipe. But at the same time, I have an ACR. So if I'm going through the game with this class and I keep dying, I'm not going to just stick with the sniper and force myself to try to do outrageous things that I'm not going to be able to do in that instance. I'm just going to be like, whatever, let's switch to a gun that I know I'm going to do better at. And after a little bit of using something I'm a little more familiar with, I might be able to get my confidence up, raise my KDR again, and then get back to the point of whatever game type it is that I'm playing at that moment. And that's the other thing. Switching up weapons is all fine, but you have to really do it in the right game type, because if you don't, then you just mess up yourself, and then you end up messing up your team, which ties into the last video that I made talking about teammates that are doing God knows what when you're playing a game and it feels like you're trying to win the entire objective on your own, which a lot of people have realized isn't always impossible, but often is, especially when you put up against a full party. But I don't know, that's pretty much all I was thinking about that. If you guys want to leave me some feedback on it, I would appreciate it. I would always wonder what other people think on the same subject. But just one last question that I have to ask before the end of the video is, how many people that really complain about what commentator weapon setup is really use those same weapon setups themselves? As in, are you asking other people to test themselves because that's how you play, or just because you want to see how other people can manage? But that's just some food for thought. This has been another video that I enjoyed making. Hope you enjoyed watching.